Hello and welcome to this tutorial on linear regression with Python. In this tutorial we are going to make use of USA housing data which is there on kaggle.com. So you can either download it from kaggle.com or you can download it from the link which I have given in description box. Now the requirement for this video is Anaconda. Anaconda should be installed on your computer. So in case if it is not installed, go ahead and download Anaconda from anaconda.com, and once it is installed you can run Jupyter Notebook from there. So here Jupyter Notebook is running in my machine. I can go ahead and say new Python 3 program. Okay, and that's how we run Jupyter Notebook. We are going ahead and importing libraries that is required for our linear regression. Now in this particular video we'll talk about applying Python and scikit-learn in linear regression, and we'll not talk about the concept or maths behind it. So in case you want to learn maths or concept of linear regression, you can check the playlist of this video. Okay, and there I have explained a lot about maths and concept of linear regression. So let's see how do we apply scikit-learn for linear regression modeling. Okay, and just a note, even though you are beginner in Python, you can follow this tutorial and can get this Python notebook from the link which I have given in description box. Okay, so let's go ahead and import pandas as PD. Okay, I'll import Seaborn for visualization as SNS, and I'll also import matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT. So we are importing these three libraries as of now, but later we will import scikit-learn as well. Okay, now let me name our data set as data, and I'll say pd.readcsv to read our data, and this is located in particular directory of my computer. This is my directory. Okay, and the data set name is USA housing. Okay, so data is loaded and a data frame is created, and there are some methods in data frame by which we can check the contents of our data, like head method. So if I'll say data.head, I'll get the contents of the data. Okay, and you can see this is the data about housing, and there are some columns which are also called as features, and this is the price column which we would like to set as our target column. Okay, and the rest of these columns are other features by using which we are going to predict the price of our some data. Okay, now here we see that there is some address column which is textual, and we will discard this column because it doesn't make any contribution to our modeling. Okay, but before applying any concept, let's try to understand what is this data about. Okay, so I'll explain one by one. Here average area income is average income of the residents of the city where the house is located. Okay, average area house age is average age of the house where it is located. Average area number of rooms is average number of rooms for the house in that city. Okay, and average area number of bedroom is average number of bedrooms for the house where it is located. Okay, the population is the population of that city where the house is located, and the price is the price for that house. Okay, and address where the house is located. So this is all about this data. Okay, and if you want to get more information about the value of the data, you can call some other methods of pandas data frame, like you can call info method. So if you will say data dot info, okay, and that would give some additional information about your data. Okay, likewise you can call data dot describe methods, and that would give some stats about your data. Okay, so you can see it is giving the count of the records, mean, standard deviation, and so on. Okay, likewise we can call size and shape attribute. Okay, so size is the number of elements, and I can say data dot shape to get information about the shape of the data. So there are 5000 records and 7 columns. In order to see the name of the features or columns, we can say data dot columns. Okay, and these are my column names. So these are the methods by which we can see the information about our data. Okay, and since this video is about linear regression, we are going ahead and doing some exploratory data analysis for our data. Okay, so first of all we will use a pair plot for that. So I'll say SNS, which is our Seaborn library. Okay, and call the method called pair plot. Okay, so pair plot is really useful for getting histogram and a scatter plot for our data. And the good thing about this method is that we can pass our entire data frame to it. Okay, so I'm passing my entire data frame, which is data, to it, and it will find all the numerical columns in my data frame and will try to plot a graph. Okay, like this. And since it is very big, so it might take some time. So let's wait a bit. Okay, and here it is. We can see pair plot is giving us the information about our data. So we can see this data is nicely normal distributed, and therefore we are getting some scatter plot as well. So we can assume that we can apply a linear regression concept to our data. Okay, these are some categories. Okay, let's go ahead, and I'll recommend to check the distribution for the target column. So here it is the target column. So if you want to check the distribution for a particular column, you can say like that, give me the distribution. So sns dot dist, and the data and price is my target column. Okay, so you can see the distribution for this particular column is displayed, and we can see this data is normally distributed. Okay, so now we are going to talk about correlation, which is really important for linear regression. So in order to find correlation, we can say data dot correlation. Okay, and this method gives us the information about the correlation in data. You can see it is giving us the information about all the numerical columns we have. Okay, and the correlation value. Now we can plot this correlation using heat map. So we'll say sns dot heat map. Okay, and plot this correlation. So we can see this heat map is giving us the information about the correlation. Now here on this graph, we can actually put the value of correlation. If I'll say sns dot heat map and correlation, inside that I'll say not equal to true. Okay, and that would give me the actual value of correlation here. Okay, great. So now let's go ahead and begin to train our regression model. We will need to first split up our data into X array that contains the features to train on, and Y array with a target variable. Okay, so in this case the price column. We will toss out the address column because it is only text, and this type of information is not useful in linear regression model. Okay, so let's go ahead and try X and Y variable. Okay, so X is also called independent variable, as you know, and this is because it doesn't depend on anything. Price is the dependent variable because we want to predict that. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab the column names from here. And our X would be data and these many columns. Okay, so make sure you are using double parenthesis here. Okay, and discard the address column. Okay, and since price would be our target variable, so discard this as well. Okay, and see, so now X is created, and you can see this is one more data frame which contains the features by which we want to do prediction. Okay, great. Now let's go ahead and create our target variable. So I'll say y is equal to data, and inside that price. Okay, and our target variable is created. Great. Now let's go ahead and create a train test splits, and for that we would need scikit-learn, right? So I'll say from sklearn dot model selection import train test split. Okay, and therefore we need to create 4 variable. Okay, so in the feature variable we need to create 2 variable, which is train and test. So I'll say x train and x test. Okay, so this is for features, one is for training set, other for testing set. And then for our for our dependent variable we need 2 more set again. So I'll say y train and y test. Okay, so these 4 variables we need, and we will call the train test split method. Okay, and if you want to check the signature of this method, you can press shift tab from here, and then you can get the lot more information about this. So you can see from here the train test split is there. Okay, and it accepts 2 parameter. Okay, so that is x and y. So in our case x and y. Okay, and test size, so let me say our test size is equal to 0.3. so that means we are using 30% of our data for testing. So this is how our train test split has been done. Okay, and this is kind of tuple unpacking because I am using 4 variables together. Okay, and this method gives us the 4 outcomes which is assigned to these variables. Okay, now when a train test split has been done, let's go ahead and call our create linear regression model. So what we'll do, we'll make use of sklearn again. So we'll say from sklearn dot linear model. Okay, because it's linear regression, import linear regression. Okay, and linear regression is imported. Now we'll create our own variable for linear regression. So I'll say lm, short for linear method. Okay, so lm is equal to linear regression, and this variable is created. Now using this I'll train my model. So I'll say lm dot train. Okay, lm dot fit, actually not train, lm dot fit. Okay, and inside this I'll pass my training variable. So this is x train and y train. Okay, now the training has been done. Now let's go ahead and see what is there inside this. Okay, so first of all we can get the value of our intercept. Okay, so I'll say print and lm dot intercept. Okay, and this is giving us the value for intercept. Now if you remember from the explanation of linear regression, there were 2 things, one was intercept, other was slope. Okay, so this is the value of intercept, and the whole idea behind linear regression was to find the value for slope and intercept. So this is the value for intercept. Now let's see what are the coefficient or slope. Okay, so I'll say coefficient, and if you are feeling uncomfortable about these things, then I'll recommend you to go ahead and check the linear regression intuition videos in the description box. I have given the link. Okay, so coefficient is equal to lm, and I'll create one more data frame here. Okay, so that it will be easy to read these coefficients. So I'll say pd dot data frame. Okay, and lm dot coefficient. So this will give you the value of coefficient. So rather than creating data frame, you can just say, let me just insert a cell below. I can just say lm dot coefficient, okay, and that would print the value. But this is not that readable, right? So that's why I'm creating a data frame here. So I'll say pd dot data frame and lm dot coefficient, and in order to read it, I'll say index is equal to these columns. Which columns? My feature columns. So I'll say these many columns. Okay, great, and we'll print the value of coefficient. So here it is. Now these coefficients are really useful for interpreting the output of our modeling. So what does it mean actually? Let's say average area income, and the value of it is 21, around 21. So it means holding all other features fixed, okay, so holding all these things fixed, 1 unit increase in average area income will increase $21 in our house price, okay. In similar way, holding all others features fixed, 1 unit increase in average area house age would increase this much price in our house, okay, and so on. For like area population, holding everything fixed, 1 unit increase in area population would increase $15 in our price, okay. So from this value, you can interpret that the price of the house is highly dependent on these two variables, because 1 unit increase in the average area house would increase this much value in our price, and so is this number is very big for average area number of rooms, okay. So it's kind of the dependent variable, which is y, or the price of the house is more dependent on these values. Great. So now the coefficient and the intercept of our linear regression has been found. Let's go ahead and try to do some prediction based on our test data. So I'll say predict equal to, and that's a variable, I'll say lm dot predict, okay, and the prediction would be done for the testing data which I have created, okay. Now the prediction is done. We can simply print these values, and this is our prediction data, but this is not again that readable. So I'll plot a graph here. So what I'll do, I'll plot a scatter plot. So I'll say plt dot plot, okay, and I'll plot our prediction data, okay, versus the test data which we have created earlier, okay. Great. So you can see that this is actually we have plotted it, but let me create a scatter plot for better understanding, okay. So you can see that more or less our prediction is accurate, since this is scattered around the same straight line. Great. Now for any type of prediction, there is some error which we call residuals, so we can plot that as well, okay. So let me plot that. So I'll say SNS dot distribution plots, so dist plot, and I'll plot the actual value, so that is y test, and minus the prediction, so that is equal to predict, and let's see how much is the difference, okay. And you can see, so if I'll say here, just to look it little bit nice, bins equal to 50, okay. So I can see our data is around this value and this value, and that is residual, so that is difference between the actual value and predicted value, okay. Great. So now we have talked about our prediction. Let's go ahead and check the performance of our model by using cost function, which we have discussed a lot in our previous video. So the cost function are mean absolute error, which is the mean of the absolute value of the errors, and mean squared error, which is the mean of the squared error, and root mean square error, which is the square root of mean of the squared error. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how do we find that using Python or scikit-learn. So I'll say from sklearn import matrix. Okay, and I'll say matrix dot mean absolute error, and you can see there are a lot of other functions as well. Okay, so mean absolute error and mean squared error and root mean squared error, this is what we are interested in. So I'll first say mean absolute error. Okay, and mean absolute error for y test. Okay, for our y test and prediction. Okay, so this is our absolute mean error. The same thing we're gonna see for root mean square error. So I'll say matrix and then absolute mean square error. Okay, mean squared error. Okay, so this is my absolute mean absolute error, and this is mean squared error, and now we're gonna find a square root of mean error. So we'll say SQRT. So for that we will just square this value. Okay, so what we'll do, actually a square root mean error is the square root of this mean squared error, right? So what we'll do, we'll just square this value and we will get the square root of that. Okay, RMSE were root mean square error. So I'll import numpy for that. I'll say import numpy as np. Okay, and therefore I'll just say np dot square root and then square this. So mean absolute error, mean squared error, square this value, and this is our RMSE or root mean square error, which is most popular in cost function because it is easy to interpret. Great. So this is about a performance of our model. So we have spoke a lot about linear regression and scikit-learn. First of all, we learned how to load the data set, okay, and how to explore the data set. Okay, therefore we learned about pair plot and see our data using visualization. Okay, we learned about distribution plot and to see our target variable. We learned how to find correlation, and we learned how to draw correlation using heat map. Therefore we learned about separating the features and the target column. So we learned about separating independent and dependent column. Okay, and therefore we learned how to do train test split. Finally, we learned to call the linear regression method from sklearn and to train our model. Based on that, we printed the value for intercept and coefficient. Okay, and then we learned how to interpret these coefficient values. Okay, therefore we did some prediction. Okay, and we plotted our predicted value versus the actual value. Okay, and this is our error estimation in model. Okay, and therefore for evaluation of our model, we spoke about mean absolute error, which is very easy to understand, and therefore mean squared error, and then root mean squared error. Okay, so this is all about linear regression, and hopefully this would be your first modeling in machine learning. So go ahead and download this Jupyter notebook from the link which I have given in description box, and you can submit this in your Kaggle project. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you soon.